Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about how you can find the strength and weakness of a currency pair by counting the cycles and understanding the trend of a market. Now, essentially what I have here, I'll just bring it up on the screen, is a table scoring the currencies against each other. So you've got pound against the euro, pound against the Swiss franc, pound against the yen, Oz, Kiwi, CAD and the dollar. Okay, so what we do is essentially give it a scoring and then a total at the end. Sorry, that's meant to be in this box here. Total, and then the currencies get a scoring. Okay, so let's just put the and make this look a little bit neater. Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you how this works. So essentially what you're doing is you're counting cycles and trend. So just to add a little bit of context, we've got pound US dollar here. Now if the market is in an uptrend, it scores, let's just write pound against the US dollar here. So if this market is in an uptrend, that means the pound is stronger than the US dollar. So pound will score a 1 and the US dollar will score a 0. Okay, so it'll be 1-0 essentially. If the market is in a downtrending situation, that means that the dollar is stronger than the pound. So you get 0, 1. If there is no trend and the market is ranging, okay, there's no clear trend, then you score 0 to each for a ranging market. Okay, so that's how you basically do it. So I'll go through this process with the pound pairs, and then you can go away and test this theory yourself. Watch the video a couple of times just to get your bearings with it, and then we'll go from there. So looking at this pound currency pair, what's happening is the market in trend, and what is the direction? Well, if we actually take a look at it, the market is in an uptrend, right? You can see that we formed a high here, a low, and now a higher high. Okay, bit of range boundness through here, but now we've broken into new higher highs. The previous swing low is actually here, so the market is still technically bullish. So that is 1 to pound, 0 to the US dollar. Okay, so if I just bring that in, how we score this is 1 to the pound, 0 to the US dollar. Okay, so we've got pound here, and that would score a 1. Okay, obviously you've got this down here as well. Okay, which is, so you got for and against. So you've got dollar against the pound here. That will give you the 0. Okay, right. Moving on to the next pair, let's try euro pound. But this is obviously inverse, pound euro. Euro pound is just here. Okay, so we'll take a look at that, and euro pound should be along here. Okay, now what's this market doing? Well, technically it's still in a downtrend, and the reason being is because if I bring in that pen tool again, the market push lower, formed a lower high, push lower, formed a lower high, push lower, and the market is only just back to that high. It hasn't closed above that, so the change in trend hasn't formed. So technically this is still in a downtrend. Okay, so that means that the euro technically here is still weaker than the pound. So how we'd score this is 0 to 1. Okay, so if we go back to our drawing here on Excel, so the score for euro is 0. Okay, and the score for the pound is 1. Okay, Swiss franc. So if we go to pound Swissy, now this market has just changed cycle, but you know, we were looking at it from this week's perspective. you know, the market is technically still in an uptrend until recently. So in your next week's analysis, that's when you will say that the pound is starting to lose a bit of strength because it's broken through this low. Especially if we get a close below, you'd add that in. But obviously we're looking at last week, essentially, the data. So, you know, that was still in an uptrend, still forming higher highs. So pound would score 1 against the Swiss franc. So you just come here and then you go down to the Swiss franc here and do a 0 there. Same for pound yen. So I'm just going to zoom through this now because I don't want this video to be too long. Click on pound yen, was in an uptrend, still making higher highs. 1 to pound, 0 to yen. Pound Aussie, forming higher highs at the time. Okay, score again. Pound 1, Aussie 0. Pound Kiwi is in a ranging market. Okay, there's no real trend going on here. So both score 0. No real trend. Pound CAD, that was forming higher highs. Obviously, we were talking about this pound weakness coming in, and I'll explain a bit about that in the end. But essentially, pound was stronger than CAD, okay, at that time. So now, totaling up the pound, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. It's a 6 out of 7, so it's a positive plus 6, okay, which is what gives it its score. Now, as I've said before, we work this strength and weakness chart on a meter, okay? So it's -7 to +7, okay? Now, obviously you have in between -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, anything sort of around this area here and here is either very weak / reversal. Okay, so if something is sort of at -6, -7, especially, this is where you'd be looking for the potential reversal. And again, here you've got either very strong / reversal. Okay, so when something's like this, we look for the potential weakness to come back into play, because that's how our strength meter works. Okay, so pound this week was +6. Okay, it was +6 last week as well, so it's staying very strong. The problem with that is the pound came into a key resistance level, as well as the commitment of traders added 14% short. The commercial market did. So that to me was a signal that we could start seeing pound weakness come into play. Okay, you can see here. Let's just zoom over. Pound 6 stayed the same. Okay, so that's essentially how we create the chart that we post on the Outlook and things like that, the strength and weakness table. You basically just count the cycles, count the trend. What's the trend doing? Is the market forming higher highs, higher lows? If it's not clear, you give it a range score, okay? So I hope you found this video interesting. I hope it has helped you in any sort of way. Thanks for watching, and I will speak to you very soon.